What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another FPL season. This is 2021-2022. FPL season is back and it's live. My name is Mo and welcome back to my FPL Inklink channel. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've been here before and you're returning back, welcome back. The new season has started and it's still the Euros going on, guys. We've had the price reveals over the last couple of days, bit by bit. How did you guys find it? I absolutely loved it, to be fair. I think it was a really nice structure. Kind of kept you guessing every hour what's being revealed. Some clubs revealed more than others. Some revealed only a few players, but it's live and it's here, guys. So this is why I'm back with my first draft video. Going to go through like a selection that I've gone through based on the kind of like players I've went through, fixtures I've seen, and this is kind of like my initial draft. This isn't going to be my final one. I'm going to have a couple of more draft videos, going to have a look around to see any more transfers that come through, new signings such as like Sancho or Kane to Man City. So let's see how it gets along and how it goes along in terms of the season. There's still 52 days to go, 30 days since the last season finished. So it's quite a surprise they've actually released the game so quick, considering the Euros are going on. So it's quite a surprise for me. I was kind of anticipating maybe in another 2 or 3 weeks' time that would start to get the game released slowly in terms of fixtures being released recently, players. So we are here and it's live, guys. So before we go ahead, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button, guys. Subscribe to my channel, help me grow. I joined midway through last season. My aim is to grow and make this a successful channel as the season goes ahead. Like the video if you like the video. Leave me some comments as well if you feel that you'd like to ask me some questions, or I've missed someone, or you're looking out for someone and you want some more information, let me know. You can also contact me on YouTube, the link below here, which you can go onto my channel and contact me, my Twitter page and my Instagram page as well. So let's get kick-started and let's go through the team I've selected. Yes, you're looking correctly. There is no Harry Kane in my first draft. Why is that? So the reason why, there's a transfer saga going on at the moment. How would I see Harry Kane at Spurs next season? That's the first question I asked myself. Who's going to be in charge? Yes, he had a great partnership with Son last season. It went well. He had a great scoring season, probably one of his highest scoring seasons in FPL since he's played. But, you know, for me, after reviewing the prices of certain players for this game season, I generally believe players are far too expensive this season. That's my honest opinion. I know there's some experts out there who are saying, you know, the prices are quite friendly. For me, they're far from it. Extremely expensive. You look at players such as like Foden, 8 mil. You got Greenwood, who's 7.5. You've also got, I believe it's you got Grealish at 8 mil. So I think these are slightly higher. I mean, Grealish at 8 mil, I understand, but you know, Sterling at 11 mil didn't have a great season last season, and you've also got you know, Kevin De Bruyne at 12 mil. So there's a few players that I'm looking at thinking, really? That expensive? Vardy, again, I was a bit shocked, 10.5. I was expecting around 9.5 to be fair for him. He didn't have a great end to the season, but his price has gone up. So Fernandes obviously has gone up as well from 10.5 mil to 12 mil this season, which is quite surprising. But he's still half a mil cheaper than Salah as an option and Kane. So let's go through who I've selected and the reasonings behind it. So I've got Sanchez in goal. So Sanchez is coming in at 4.5 mil at the moment. So he's playing for Brighton. You know, he's selected already by 32.4% of managers, coming in quite strong, 101 points last season. He got 10 clean sheets. So for me, it's a no-brainer. He's definitely going to be part of my squad. Will he be my number one? For now, I'm looking at it as it is. But if I do decide to play around and tweak with the team a bit more, then I'll personally see if he stays my number one, or he, at worst, is going to be my number two. So I also have, in regards, I've got Edison that I popped in first, but it's 2 mil extra. So I went round the point of selecting Ben Foster as a backup. Just didn't have enough funds really, to be fair. So that's who I've selected. So as you guys can see, Ben Foster coming in from Watford, already selected by 26.1% of the game players themselves already. So it'll be worth seeing how he fits in and how he plays for me. If whether he plays or not, it's not a major deal, but at the moment he's just a backup goalkeeper. So my first defender I've brought in is Reece James. So 11.5% ownership at the moment. He had a good end to the season last season. He was quite a favourite of Tuchel. most kind of think like used player or appearances on Tuchel since he's taken over. He's had a decent Euro so far. Has a potential of a good cross, set pieces. The only risk is rotation, but I think he'll get far more game time this year in regards to him playing in his position. So that's why I've chosen Reece James. Now, I have said that some prices of players have been increased, but a friendly decrease in price was Lucas Digne, 5.5 mil. Now, the reason why is Everton didn't have a great season in terms of clean sheets last year, only 9. And he got 120 points now. He did get 9 assists. So that's one of his best seasons in terms of assists. Didn't score many goals last season at all. So he's quite a hot favourite. It's owned by 30% of managers already. So this is what, for me, I've kind of selected him in. I'm still 50-50 on him, depending on which manager they get to manage them, because they don't have a manager at the moment, as Ancelotti has left. So that's why Digne's in my squad as we speak. Now, for me, they have been generous in terms of Luke Shaw this season. I expected him to be 6, if not 6.5, based on the returns last season. He got 124 points, 5 assists, 1 goal. 32.6% managers already own him out of the players who are already signed up, which is around 250,000. So I think it's going to be a good shout with him. He's got Tellez, obviously, as a backup, who's giving him good competition, but Luke Shaw, kind of like the first players I kind of chose. The next player I've got is Ben White. Now, Ben White's had like a transfer saga with, I think it's Arsenal over the last couple of weeks. They put in a few bids, around 40 odd million, which have been rejected. Now, whether he stays at Brighton or goes to Arsenal, I think he's going to be on my radar for this season. 4.5 mil. Played 104 points last season with 3,000 minutes, 12 clean sheets. There's no goal return kind of like threat from him, but I think generally you get a bit of solidity. And he will play kind of like most of the minutes of the season. So he's a good player to have. Not just as like a fifth defender, but actually, you know, a first team defender as well for the price you're paying for him. And last but not least, I've got Connor Cody. 7% of ownership already, 106 points last season, 1 goal, no assists, played nearly practically every minute. Don't see a reason why he shouldn't be selected. He's had a good season last season, despite all the challenges. And, you know, over the last 2 seasons, if you look at it, he's got double-digit clean sheets. So 10 last season and 13 the season before, and 9 the season before that. So he's not too bad. At a price of 4.5, again, he's a good number 4, if not number 5 option to have on your team selection as well. So that's why I've chosen Connor Cody. Kind of a safe bet, and you know what you're going to get with him week in, week out. Now, the midfielder I've chosen first is Basuma. Highly owned already, to be fair. 18.5% ownership, only 4.5 mil. Got a goal last season. He's in a kind of, you know, really good form in terms of the season itself, but he's been in really high demand from, you know, Arsenal. Arsenal put a few bids in for him. I think there's a few other clubs that are going for him as well. So Basuma, I think there's a lot to see from him this season, but I think he'll be a good asset to have just as a 4.5. I know he'll play minutes and he'll be reliable if needed be to come in off the bench. Now I've chosen Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez comes out in that 9 mil, and last season I think he was around the 8.5 mil. So yeah, 8.5 mil starting. And he finished on 8.1 mil, so he got 145 points, around 1,900 minutes played, so he's a rotating player. 9 goals and 8 assists. Now that doesn't look much. I know the Pep Roulette is devastating, but what you need to understand is for the minutes he's played to the ratio of expected goals, if we look at that statistic, he is the highest in the season last year. So for every minute he does play, he's very useful. I think it's a tad high for a rotating player. I think 8.5, 8 mil was satisfactory, considering if you've got players like Havertz who are like 8.5 mil, who's going to be playing far more minutes than him. That's just my opinion, but Mahrez is an incredible talent, and you know I've seen today some links of him going to Arsenal. Now, if that's true, I'm not too sure. That would be great. Now, even if he gets used in the exchange for Harry Kane for Spurs, again, I'd love to see him in my squad for them, because he is just a phenomenal player. Whether he does it at Leicester or Man City, I think he's just a special talent, and that's why I've got him in my first draft. Now, Rafinha. So this is another player that I thought would be slightly higher priced, around 7 mil, 7.5. Comes in at a friendly price at 6.5. 32% ownership. 32% ownership, already from the managers who have started this game last season. 10 assists, 6 goals, 133 points. Played around 2,358 minutes. So I think he's a good shout. Leeds kind of rely on him. Jack Harrison, Bamford, Dallas are kind of like the core of Leeds' attack. So I think that's why I've chosen him. Got on set pieces as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he go from there. That's why he is in my first draft as well. Mo Salah. Salah. How can we forget? He's selected by 54% of managers already. 12.5 mil is his price. He got 231 points last season. So that's why I've chosen him. He's got some really good fixtures at the start of the season. He's got Norwich, Burnley, followed by Chelsea, Leeds and Crystal Palace. So that's why he was kind of like my first choice. I have considered Mane, but I think, with the return and the price differences, I don't really see much, to be fair. In terms of Bruno Fernandes, 244 points last season, around 40% ownership already. You've got Leeds, followed by Southampton, Wolves, Newcastle. So Manchester United has some really friendly fixtures at the moment. So I might even consider bringing in maybe like Rashford or a Martial based on the fixtures that they have at the start. But then if you look up from like games week 7 onwards, it does look a bit stiff, to be fair. Everton, Leicester, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man City. So that is how it's looking at the moment. So that'll be quite interesting to see. But that's why I've got Fernandes, and he's on penalties, kind of like the playmaker of United. Didn't have a good end to the season last season, but in Bruno I will trust, and he might be my most favoured captain choice of this season. Now, coming in my strike force, I've got Ivan Toney. He's already selected by 41% of managers, 6.5 mil. Previously played in 2015-16 season, only 12 minutes. But for me, he's been phenomenal last season. He's got some ridiculous goal scoring and assist stats. And people have told me to watch out for him, just through friends who watch Championship. I don't watch the Championship myself. So that's why I've got him in my squad. If you look at his fixtures, I mean, they're not awful, but they're not friendly either. So you've got Arsenal at home, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Brighton, Wolves. So maybe, the new league, the kind of like optimism or the enthusiasm may get him through. So that's why I've got him in there. It's a nice shout. Let's see what he's made of. And, if he kicks off a good start, cash in on the points, a bit like Pookie did a couple of seasons ago. So that's why I've kind of took him on as well. He's on penalties as well, which is a good shout. It's good to have a player who's been coming from a promoted side on penalties, because that can be like the main kind of route or way for them to kind of get any points out of the FPL game. So that's why Ivan Toney is my striker choice at the moment in my first draft, followed by Ollie Watkins. I had him for the majority of the last season. Already 34% ownership, 7.5 million this season. It's gone up from 6.5 last year. 6 million, 168 points, 14 goals and 9 assists last season. Pretty much played every minute, barring being suspended in one of the games for a red card. So that's why I've chosen Ollie Watkins for my first draft. And then obviously Mikel Antonio, big old Mikel, but like an absolute brickhouse. 118 points last season, 7.5 million price, which I think is a fair price for Mikel. The only risk of him is the risk of injury. So he does get injured quite frequently. So he's injury prone, but when he does play, again, he gets good goals and assists in terms of the kind of return. So last 2 seasons he's finished with double-digit goals, which is 10 in both seasons, and 5 assists last season, 4 assists the season before. So that's why I chose Mikel Antonio as a striker force in there as well. So this is my first team draft. So if I was to play, for example, let's say a first week squad out of this, my formation pretty much would be, I would say 4-4. What do I play? 3-4-3. I'll play a 3-4-3 actually. So Sanchez in goal, followed by James, Dino, Shaw, Mahrez, Rafinha, Salah, Fernandes, followed by my front three, which is Toney, Watkins, and Antonio. So that's kind of like my first draft so far. Some really good, interesting choices. I'll come out with some more picks as well. But as I mentioned, there's a few players there which I think the prices are far too high for what they did last season, what they achieved. De Bruyne should not be nowhere near the price that he's been priced at. I reckon maybe 11 mil would have been fair for him. Sterling should have been reduced to about 10. Mahrez, I think 8.5 would have been decent. 8 million for Foden, I think it's far too excessive for a rotated player. He's not full in terms of like first team squad member. Plus you've got Gundogan, who's coming around 8 million as well. So these are quite highly inflated prices. But if you look at generally defenders wise, all your Man United defenders are 5.5 mil, and the United goalkeepers Henderson and I think De Gea coming at 5 mil each. So it'd be interesting to see who their number one is. But that's not a bad choice for a United goalkeeper who's going to be playing week in, week out, or even for rotation. If you choose both, then that's not a bad shout either. But that's my first draft, guys. Let me know what you think. FPL Inkling is back and live, and I'll basically be breaking more news and more videos and more content to you, more drafts. I'll make some more special videos in regards to like best budget players for a specific amount of budget or price range, and basically take it from there. And this is how we're starting off the season. The season is back, guys. The videos are back and they will be regular. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, be part of this channel. Let me grow this season. I want to hit as many subscribers as I can. On around 275 already. Let's see if I can get to the 1,000 mark as soon as possible, if not more. Have a lovely day. Hit the notification icon for the latest videos, and I'll see you guys soon. Best luck with your team selection.